round 2. This is the multiple choice part 2 questions. We're going to look at 1 through 5, which is page 1. So if I take a look at the first one, it says, right, if f of x equals the cube root of x plus 4, then what does, basically, right, this is asking you for the inverse. So what does the inverse of f of x equal? We remember always, when I'm trying to find inverse, what am I really doing? I'm turning my f of x into a y, and then I'm swapping the x and y's. So if I come over here, right, and I rewrite it, it would look like this, right? X equals the cube root of y plus 4. That's your hint, right? And then what am I doing? I'm trying to solve for y. And right, hopefully you were able to do this on your own, but if I'm trying to solve for y, I'm subtracting the 4 on both sides, right? 4's cancel out. What am I left with? X minus 4 equals the cube root of y. In order to get rid of the cube root, I'm just raising each side to the power of 3. When I do that, right, I'm putting it over my entire, like almost in parentheses. These cancel out, and what is y? Y equals x minus 4 cubed. Answer choice 2. Looking at number 2, right? Now you're given an equation, s of x equals 1.7 times sine of bx plus 12, where the period of that function is 12. What is the value of b? As a quick little reminder, right, the 3 important things, I see 1.7 is my amplitude, the 12 would be my midline, and then inside, right, the b is my frequency. But they give me everything I need to find the b, right? So what am I trying to find? I'm trying to basically find my frequency. Well, I know that p, which is my period, times b, which is my frequency, equals 2 pi. So I know my period, right? They gave it to me, 12. Don't know my b. I know it equals 2 pi. Simple one-step equation. Divide by 12 on both sides. What am I left with? If I simplify this, right, 2 goes into 12 6 times, I'm left with pi over 6. Answer choice number 1. Next one, number 3. Number 3 says Jim solved this equation by squaring both sides. What extraneous solution did he find, right? So they're even telling you your first step, right? My first step would be to square both sides, right? When I do that, right, the square root cancels out, so I'm just left with 4 minus x equals, right, x plus 8 squared, or x plus 8 times x plus 8, right? Simplest mistake you can make is just saying x squared plus 64. That's your hint. Try to find the extraneous solution on your own. All right, first step, what I want to do, I would have to FOIL over here. So I'm going to say x times x is x squared. X times 8 is 8x. And then 8x times, or 8 times x is another 8x. So that's a total of 16x. And then 8 times 8 is 64. Right, I just kind of skipped a step, but I'm adding 8x plus 8x. What does that equal? 4 minus x, right? I want to get, right, in order to solve, I have to get one side equal to 0. The side that's going to be easiest to do it to is my left side. So I'm going to subtract 4, add an x. So over here, I want to add an x, and I want to subtract 4. These cancel, left with 0 equals x squared plus 17x plus 60. Simple factoring, right? Something, 2 factors that are going to add to 60, or sorry, multiply to 60, but add to 17, right? So if I'm thinking, right, 10 times 6 doesn't work, but 12 times 5 works, right? 12 times 5 is 60, 12 plus 5 is 17, and since it's both positive, positive, I know it's just plus 5 plus 12, right? Now I can set these equal to 0 and find my roots. So, right, x plus 5 equals 0, what's going to give me x equals negative 5 for one root, and then x equals negative 12 for the other root. But it's asking me for, right, and I'm going to highlight it, extraneous solution, meaning a solution that doesn't work, right? So I have to go check those answers in my original problem. If I check, right, my first side, right, let's just look at the negative 5 first. So if I say 4 minus negative 5, it's actually saying 4 plus 5 gives me 9. Square root of 9 is 3, right? And then, well, negative 5 plus 8 is 3, right? So both are positive, we're good to go, right? Now I look at this one, negative 12. 4 minus a negative 12 is just positive 16. So on the left side, right, square root of 16 is 4. But this is the trouble part, right? Negative 12 plus 8 is actually negative 4. And since that doesn't, since they don't equal each other, right, we know this is extraneous. Answer choice number 3, right? The idea for extraneous is usually you're going to have to take a square root and you only take the positive side of the square root, right? And if a positive equals the negative, that's going to be extraneous. Number 4, I can't do all the work, right? Else my hand will die, right? Because it's just like too much work. I always like to, right, when it says this expression is not equivalent to something, I want to simplify this out first, right? So if I did simplify it out, right, I'd be multiplying this 2 times. I'd be left with like x to the power of 4 plus 2x squared y squared plus y to the power of 4, right? Because I'm just multiplying. I'd be rewriting this kind of like what I did for, almost like what I did for number 3, right? X plus 8 times x plus 8. And then, right, I want to know which one's not equivalent. What I'm going to do, right, since a lot of these are like, this one right here, I'm not going to want to do. So my hint would just be to look for the ones that might seem a little bit easier, see if they're equal, and then you keep working until maybe you find one that's not equivalent. And that one, you're on your own with that one. Number 5, the last one for this video. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit, right? You have a crew right there in a small fishing boat catching. So on Monday, they caught 350 pounds of fish. And then from Monday through the end of the week on Friday, they caught more fish, right? The weight of the fish caught increased 15% per day. What's the total weight in pounds of the fish caught for the week, right? This you could probably do with like the summation. We didn't really do that in class. So you're just going to grind this one out, right? In my head, right, I would just say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And just know, right, what did they tell you? On Monday, you caught 350 pounds of fish, right? On Tuesday, right, you caught 15% more. So I'm really saying 350 times 1.15. I'm getting that, right, because I'm increasing by the 15%. So it's like the 1 is the 350 and then the 15 is like the 15% increase. If I was decreasing or something, I'd have to subtract that. I'd get a number smaller than 1, right? When I do that, what do I get as an answer? $392, right? And then from there, you just keep on taking the number you got, right, from the previous day and multiplying by 1.15. That's your hint. If, right, we're back again each day, right, I'm not going to show this anymore, right, but I would get 450.8 pounds. I multiply that by 1.15, I'm getting approximately, let's say 518 pounds. And then on Friday, 518 times 1.15, 596, because I'm just rounding up, right? The total weight means I want to add up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 350 plus 392 plus 2,306. I feel like I made a mistake. Oh, no, 2,306, right? So the closest one, I might have made a mistake somewhere with my multiplying. We're going to say answer choice 4. Sounds good to me. Because it's approximately, right? It's close. All right. First page of round 2 is done.